Today I'm going to be sharing my July monthly reset. So if you want to do a mini life audit along with me and really set yourself up for success in July, then this video may be for you. We're going to be covering budgeting, goals, mindset, to-dos, and just general life admin and resetting for a new month. Hey, I'm Kenzie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a future therapist, hopefully with a love of both cozy and adventurous hobbies. And my channel is all about becoming the kind of woman who feels at home with herself. I like to talk about routines, growth, finances, and hobbies. And I really want my channel to feel like a warm cabin in the mountains or like a self-development studio in a mountain town where you can really come home to yourself and lean into both your softness and your grit. So I'm obsessed with monthly reset videos. My main inspirations for these videos are definitely Gabby Peterson and Carter Sullivan. Definitely recommend checking out both of their channels. I'm obsessed with all of their videos, and these resets are something I've started incorporating into my life and I've really enjoyed them. And if you also enjoy this sort of thing, then maybe grab a beverage or a snack, get comfy, maybe you can reset along with me if you'd like, and let's just jump right into the reset. Alright, so first things first, we're going to talk about how June went and what I did in the month of June. So I went camping with some school friends. I finished all my coursework for my degree, which I'm so excited for. As I mentioned, I want to become a therapist in the future, and obviously you need to go to grad school to become a therapist. So my undergrad is a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, and to help me get into grad school and just gain some practical skills, I am in the honors program at my university. So that's where you develop like a study and do research and gain research experience. So the way my schedule worked out, I finished all my classes for my degree, and now I just have all my research stuff left. So I'm so excited. I had 2 spring classes. It was definitely busy, so I'm really happy I got all that done. I had a friend visit my hometown. I moved back this past month actually. So I had a friend from the city come visit here, and I actually filmed a what I spend in a week, which shows that little visit and what we did here. If you want to check that out, I'll link it in the description as well. We got a new puppy named Loki. He is so cute. He is just having a nap right now. Otherwise, I would come bring him and show you. In my sourdough vlog, you get to see him a little bit more, and I'll definitely show him in future videos, but he is so cute. He's a little Cavapoo. We have 2 golden retrievers already. And then, as I mentioned, I moved back home, so that was very busy. But I'm so excited to be back home. I became an auntie this month, which I am like so happy about. I can't even explain it. Yeah, that's definitely like the biggest highlight of my month, I would say. And then lastly, on June 30th, I returned to in-office work. I work an office job, and during the school year, I worked from home, and I returned in office, and I'm so happy to be back. So yeah, I'm just trying to kind of get back into like a regular routine with being back home again. I just moved back. So yeah, that's what kind of went on in June for me. Now let's talk about the budget. So if you watched my June monthly reset, you know I wanted to do a low spend because the couple months before were just kind of crazy in terms of spending. So I didn't hit my spending numbers I was aiming for, or I should say I did hit them. I exceeded them, as in I overspent. But I did actually look at my year so far because we're halfway through the year now, and I realized that it was actually one of my lower spend months. I'm gonna consider that a win. And it was a huge improvement from the last couple months. So I'm gonna say that's achieved. Wasn't perfect, but I did spend less and I got what I wanted to get out of it, if that makes sense. So in terms of my income for June, it was more than I anticipated. I tend to budget on the low end just to play it safe, especially because one of my jobs is like waitressing, bartending. So a lot of my income from that job is tips, and obviously there's no guarantee of what those are going to be, and it's quite a wide range. So I like to budget on the lower end of the range just so I'm not budgeting with money that I may not get. I budgeted on the lower end and the tips were a lot higher, so not complaining about that. I also sold a couple items on Facebook Marketplace, again because I was moving, and then just a couple other little things. In terms of expenses, this was my second last month of paying rent in the city, which I'm so excited. I was in a townhome for 2 years, and I'm just so excited to have a little bit of a break from paying that rent. My phone bill is $94.63. I pay for Spotify, which is $6.71. Kindle is $10.49. My Disney Plus is $9.44, but I am canceling that for next month because I just got it a couple months ago, so I could watch the second season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So now that I'm caught up on that, I am going to just cancel that one. And then $11.95 for my banking checking fee. For gas and groceries, I budgeted $200 for each, which did not happen. I spent $228.09 on gas in June and $234.50 on groceries. So I did go over what I had budgeted for, but this is actually really low for me, especially the groceries. $234 is obviously a low amount to spend in a month in groceries, I think. I had budgeted $200 because I was moving back, so I was just anticipating not buying as much. It is what it is. Groceries are groceries. I'm gonna buy them. So in terms of my savings, sinking funds, and investments, in June I saved for my emergency fund as well as a tattoo. I have a tattoo appointment in July, so I've been putting money aside for that. I don't really know how much it'll cost. It is a custom piece. So the sinking funds that I contributed to were therapy, Christmas gifts, vehicle maintenance, and travel. I invested in both my FHSA, so First Home Savings Account, and TFSA, tax-free savings account. Okay, so for my spending, I budgeted $490 and I spent $905.85. So way over budget. If you want, guess in the comments which category you think really pushed me over. It might surprise you. And again, I did film a what I spend in a week that kind of shows a bit of this. If you do want to check that out, again, that's linked. For dining out, I budgeted $100 and I spent $214.73. So I really underestimated how much I was going to spend there. Again, I moved from the city back to my hometown, so I was doing a lot of my socializing to say goodbye. And a lot of that was over brunch or dinner or something like that, but I just did not give myself enough room. Shopping, I budgeted $50 and I spent $94.02. I did go over, but I'm proud of myself because normally shopping the past couple months, that has been the category that's like really pushing me over. And then gifts. This is the one that really did me dirty. I'm like blaming the categories if I didn't like spend the money. I budgeted $40. I don't know why I thought that was feasible. It was Father's Day and then I became an auntie this month and I just like wasn't thinking. I was like, oh, we already had the baby shower. Like one thing about me, like I love gift giving, like it's one of my favorite things. So I don't know why I thought I would be able to refrain from buying gifts and my niece was born. I don't know what was going through my brain, but I spent $65 on a Father's Day gift. And then the rest was all baby, postpartum type gifts. So for gifts, I budgeted $40 and I spent $226.17. I will say I do not regret that at all. That is one of the ways I really like spending my money. I don't regret that, but shockingly, that was the one that really put me over. Health, I budgeted $65. I spent $91.25. So the $65 is enough to cover my gym membership. And then I did also pay for a spin class, which I was not anticipating. So that's why I only budgeted the $65. Coffee, I budgeted $0. I spent $15 reloading my Starbucks card when I was moving. So it is what it is. Miscellaneous, I budgeted $15, which is definitely not enough for a miscellaneous category. I think I was just like trying to keep it really low spend. I need to remember, like I can't push the miscellaneous category super low because it's for things that I don't anticipate or like I can't remember and then they eventually come up and like there's no way of knowing that that'll for sure be under a certain number, so I should just like allot a bigger amount every month for it just in case because stuff inevitably comes up. But yeah, I budgeted $15 and I spent $56.69. Definitely over. First one was my fee to renew my ProServe. One of my jobs is like waitressing, bartending, and I am in Alberta, Canada, so ProServe is kind of like your license to be able to serve and handle alcohol, and it expires every 5 years. So I've officially been doing it for 5 years, which is really, really, really scary. But yeah, I had to pay $26.25 to renew that, which I knew I needed to do it this year, but I just like forgot about it. So, and then the next thing was a little paint pen for my car from Canadian Tire. I was not expecting it to be $30.44, but it was. So preventative maintenance on the vehicle. So yeah, that's what miscellaneous was spent on. Hobbies, I budgeted $5. So that's like if I bought a book on Kindle or something, I spent $0. And then experiences, I budgeted $215 and I spent $207.99. So that is good. I paid for camping stuff and whatnot. I went to the hot springs, and then I also paid for a festival that I'm attending this month. So yeah, that is the June budget, how it went. Overall, I'm like pretty actually happy with it. At first I was like, damn, like I didn't really do as low as I had wanted, but it was definitely an improvement, especially in shopping. That has been like my thing the past couple months, as well as dining out. I'll talk about in my July budget why I think my dining out budget will go down. I did want to quickly talk about kind of my mindset and my new saving strategy. So I feel like I am currently trying to have a bit more of a balanced approach to saving and investing. I feel like I've always just tried to invest as much as possible and then not save as much. Both are like saving for your future. I consider both saving in a way. I know I'm young and I really want to take advantage of compound interest, so I'm trying to just invest. But I'm trying to like learn that like I can't just like invest all my money. Like realistically, like there are things in my life I need to save for, that I need to have that money accessible. It's just like the stage of life I'm in. I'm 23, so I'm saving up to buy a vehicle next year, and I want to buy it in cash so that I don't have a car payment and have to pay a ton of interest. I want to buy a new dirt bike in the future because my dirt bike is from when I was a kid and it's really small. You know, I want to buy a home in the next few years. I want to do grad school. Like realistically, I just know that like this is a period of my life where I do need to save for those big expenses. I'm kind of splitting my focus between both saving and investing, whereas before it was much more heavily investing, if that makes sense. And then also I'm trying to focus on 1 to 2 things at a time and kind of putting all my energy towards a couple things, and then once I achieve that, then kind of be able to save for a couple other things. Just like psychologically, I want to just focus on a couple things at a time, just to kind of keep my motivation up, if that makes sense. It's kind of like the snowball debt payoff strategy, if you've heard of that. Is like you pay all your minimums and then any extra money goes towards the smallest debt, and then once you achieve that, all of that extra money goes into the next biggest one, and then once you achieve that, then you go into the next one, and it snowballs. So I don't have debt, but that's what my saving strategy is kind of mimicking, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to briefly mention that because obviously I like to talk about personal finance, and that is like directly related to personal finance and my mindset around it. Okay, so now let's jump into the July budget. For expenses, this is my last month paying rent for a little bit. Luckily, I moved back home with my parents and I'm not paying rent for the time while I'm still a student technically. So I am very, very grateful for that because I've had to pay rent the last few years. So I'm excited to get a little bit of a break from that. My phone bill and subscriptions and all that are totally the same as June, except for I'm obviously not paying for Disney Plus, as I mentioned. I budgeted $200 for gas and $150 for groceries. So you may be thinking that's extremely low for groceries, which it is, but I'm gonna set it at $150 for this month and see how it goes and adjust accordingly going forward. I previously just bought all my groceries myself, and I was just grocery shopping just for me, just for one person, which obviously is kind of expensive versus splitting, whereas now I'm splitting with my parents, and my parents buy a lot of like frozen meat in bulk, which I wasn't able to do at my last place just because of like space and everything, and they have said that I can use that meat, which in the last couple of years has been a huge part of my grocery budget, is like protein. Yeah, $200 for gas and $150 for groceries. Saving, again, I'm saving for my emergency fund and my tattoo, and I'm putting extra in my tattoo savings account because I do want more tattoos in the future, so I'm just gonna put money aside in there, almost like a sinking fund, so that it's there in the future. For my actual sinking funds that I'm contributing to: therapy, beauty appointments, Christmas gifts, vehicle maintenance, and fun money. I'm also putting money aside for tuition and grad school, so upcoming year of tuition and then grad school in a couple years. So this month I'm putting $1,000 aside for that. In terms of investing, again, I'm investing in those same accounts, my TFSA and FHSA. I'm currently prioritizing my FHSA. In the past, I prioritized my TFSA, but I think I am realizing I would like to buy a home in the next few years, so I really just want to put as much into my first home savings account while I can. Okay, so for spending, again, I am trying to lower it because I have been having those spend your months. So I really want to just set a good budget for this month without it being too restrictive. I think it's kind of like with eating, like if you restrict too much, then you end up binging. I think it's kind of like that. So I'm trying to set a budget that keeps me in check, but isn't too restrictive, so I don't just like come back even spend your kind of thing. So for dining out, I am budgeting $60. Now you may be thinking, you spent over $200 last month. Why the hell do you think you can spend $60 this month? And that is because, like I mentioned, I was in the city with a bunch of my school friends. And for me, like that's what I like doing in the city, is going out and trying new restaurants. Whereas here in my hometown, for one, there's a lot less restaurants. One of them I work at, so that's cheaper automatically. And I just don't go out to eat as much in my hometown. Like in the city, that's definitely more in my routine, but here I don't. And also, this sounds bad, but my boyfriend is in my hometown, so a lot of the times when I do go out to eat, it is with him, and he often pays. So realistically, it's just lower when I'm here. So we'll see how that goes. It might be not enough. Yeah, we'll see. Shopping, I budgeted $190. So I think this is like decently low, but it also gives me enough wiggle room for stuff to come up and it's not too restrictive. This is also like if I run out of any like skincare products, hair products, body care products, like it's kind of like all my shopping wrapped up into one. Like it's not just clothes or anything, it's anything I'm buying that's extra. Yeah, I budgeted $190. Personal care, I'm budgeting $100. I'm getting a lash lift and tint in a week, so I'm so excited. I'm naturally very like fair-skinned, light features. I dyed my eyebrows yesterday with the Just for Men light brown dye. Yeah, I'm getting a lash lift and tint. And this is just because in the summer, if I'm at the lake, like I don't really want to wear makeup, but I also, like I said, I have like blonde eyebrows, I have blonde eyelashes, I'm very pale. I can look kind of sick sometimes. That's just to feel a little bit more confident on those days in the summer where I'm not really wearing as much makeup. So yeah, $100 for the lash lift and tint. I think it's $85 for the appointment, and then obviously tip. Gifts, I'm budgeting $50. I have a friend's birthday. Health, I budgeted $65 again, so that's for my gym membership. Coffee, $15, which is low, but this is an area that I know I don't need to spend a lot on. We have a Breville espresso machine here. I have an Nespresso. I used to be a barista in high school. That was my job. So I'm very confident making coffees at home, and I honestly like how they taste at home more. And I don't anticipate any like social outings requiring me to buy coffee as much. So hobbies, $25. So that's books, anything I buy for my dirt bike, anything for my paddleboard, anything related to sourdough. Yeah, anything for my hobbies. Miscellaneous, $50. Part of me thinks I should just make this $100 every month because stuff always comes up and it's better to have budgeted like a good amount for it and then have money left over. But we're gonna do $50 this month and see how it goes. Experiences, budgeting $50. So as I mentioned, have the music festival. The ticket I already paid for in June, but if I buy drinks at that will go in there. So the total for my budgeted spending for July is $600. So now we're going to talk about some monthly reflections. So what went well in June is I definitely felt more grounded and less like frantic and jumbled. If you've watched my reset videos, you know that's something I've really been struggling with lately. I was doing a lot of back and forth between the city and my hometown and working full time, doing 2 spring classes. I was planning a baby shower, moving. So there was just a lot going on. But this month I really feel like I took better care of myself. I slowed down, felt a bit more stability. I meal prepped again. Yeah, I just really wanted to get back to the basics this month, and I feel like I did that. I'm really excited to be back home. In my June mid-month check-in, I mentioned that I really wanted to start prioritizing my night routine again. Nothing crazy, but I just wanted it to feel a little bit more consistent, and I'm definitely feeling a lot better about that. I'm falling into a more regular routine, which I'm so happy about. And then what was challenging is it was the last kind of final stretch of just trying to balance that phase of my life of living in the city, having all my school friends, doing long distance, being away from family. This upcoming month, I want to do more outdoor adventures. I'm back home and I do live in a mountain town, so there's just so much to do outdoors here and I'm so happy about it. So I really want to lean into that, especially in July. The weather's nice. We have very long winters here, so I just want to enjoy the sunshine while I can. In July, I want less of letting reality TV affect my mood, which sounds so silly, but like if you watch Love Island, like if you know, you know. It's just, I get angry. I'm like, I don't even know these people. I need to calm down. Luckily, Love Island ends soon and then I can kind of touch grass, you know. How do I want to feel by the end of the month? So again, I just really want to feel grounded and in a good routine, and yeah, just full of love, because I'm surrounded by all my really close loved ones again, and I'm just like so grateful and happy for that. What will make my day-to-day life easier this month? So I think that is going to be meal prepping and then staying on top of a really good cleaning routine. And then also for YouTube, I want to focus on quality rather than quantity. I don't think it's one or the other or anything, but I really just want to focus on really making my videos as best as I can. Okay, so my July forecast, what I've got going on. It's already a few days into July when I'm filming this, but my 4-year anniversary is in July. It actually already happened a few days ago. I'm anticipating lots of lake days. I need to deep clean my rental in the city, so one of the days I need to go into the city and do that. I have a music festival, as I mentioned, and one of my good friends from the city is coming to visit and attend that with me. I'm so excited. And then I have a camping trip kind of down near Calgary, and towards the end of that camping trip, that is when I'm getting my tattoo. So I'm so excited. It's gonna be on like the back of my arm above my elbow. I'm really excited. I will probably vlog that weekend, I'm thinking. I think that would be fun. That will be my 4th tattoo. Obviously 3 isn't a lot, but like you can't see any of them on me really. I have one on my hip, ankle, and then my back. Like I have like a spine tattoo. So this is like my first like really visible one. So I'm so excited because I just love the look of tattoos. And I feel like I was very conscious of like not getting any big, very visible ones while I was like 19, 20, because I was just like, I don't really care. Like the one on my hip I got was my first one. It's a pretty bad tattoo, but I love it because it's just a part of my story. I don't regret it at all. I think it's really cute. But I feel like I've just been like, okay, let's just start with less visible ones, ramp our way up. So some of my June monthly favorites were dirty sodas. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with them. I went to a soda shop in the city and I was just like, I need to make this at home. It's amazing. Like I said, I watched Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and that is definitely what triggered it. I've been loving like diet, caffeine-free Diet Pepsi with a little bit of vanilla creamer. It sounds weird, but you just have to think of it like a float, like a root beer float kind of thing. It sounds weird, but it's amazing. A little bit of lime, and then I have this like coconut cream thing, and I just do like one little squeeze of that. Oh my god. It is amazing. I've been obsessed with it. Another favorite is being back home, obviously, and especially with my dogs. I'm a huge dog lover. So we have 3 dogs at home now, and I'm just like so full of love. I love them so much. I've been loving the Dyson Airwrap. That is something I bought myself. Funny enough, I actually do not have my hair styled with it right now. This is natural. Yeah, I've been loving it. I am definitely more of a makeup girl than a hairstyling girl. So I've been liking that I can dry and style it all in one go. And it's really easy. Like I find it easier than like a curling iron. I'm back making sourdough super often, which I'm loving. I did make a make sourdough with me vlog if you want to check that out. If you want more videos on sourdough, let me know. Like a how-to or step-by-step, anything like that, let me know. Obviously, my new baby niece is favorite. I am loving being an auntie so far. So yeah, love that. I've also been really loving kind of honing in what I want my YouTube branding to be and kind of really leaning into that and discovering kind of how I want this channel to feel for you when you watch it, if that makes sense. So now let's talk about my June goals. So one of my big goals for June was I just wanted to move my body daily, get some sort of movement in. It didn't have to be Stairmaster, running, weightlifting, yoga, like it didn't really matter what it was. I just wanted to do something pretty much every day. And I'm happy to say I do think I accomplished this. I did not do it every single day, but I only missed like a handful of days. I think in a whole month, I think that's really great. My intention with that goal wasn't that I wanted to hit every single day and like not miss any days. I didn't want to miss like 2 days in a row kind of thing. Like I just wanted to keep being active. I used to be super active, and I feel like that's a huge part of my life. In the last couple months that has just been slipping. I love weightlifting. I used to just set a weightlifting goal every month, and I feel like that has just like not been working for me. So I just needed a new strategy and I needed to simplify. So I really think I got out of that what I needed. I've been weightlifting again. I've been going on lots of long walks. I've been dancing. One of my jobs is teaching dance, so that's why. So yeah, I'm checking that off. I kind of hit my low spend month goal. I don't think I hit it enough to check it off by any means. So I did do a lower spend month, but not well enough to check it off, if that makes sense. I did start tracking my weight loss again and being more intentional about that. So I'm happy about that. It's not like this scary, I haven't thought about that in a couple months. I'm kind of nervous to like start tracking that again. So I'm happy with that. I did keep posting on YouTube. Yay! And I'm really happy with my consistency in June and like my upload frequency. I think I really did a good job with that, especially considering how busy I was too. So I'm actually really proud of that. I had set a goal of 250 subscribers in June. I did not hit that, but I am now at 60. So thank you so much if you have subscribed. I really appreciate it. 250 was a pretty lofty goal, so I'm just happy I'm not losing, and I'm continuing to make videos that I'm enjoying making, and I'm hoping you enjoy watching them. And yeah, that's all that matters. I did start really focusing on my nutrition again. As I mentioned, I've been meal prepping. I've really been back dialed into that, which I'm so happy, and I feel just like so much better. That alongside with like my movement and activity goal, I just feel 10 times better. I did move back home. I did sell 2 things on Facebook Marketplace. I actually sold 3, so my goal was 2, but I hit 3. I did go to the hot springs. I did not paddleboard or dirt bike. Those are just kind of like more fun bucket list items. Okay, so now let's talk about my July goals. In July, my activity goal, because I am kind of moving my body almost daily, like I'm getting that activity in. I really just want to be living an active lifestyle in general and consistently weightlifting again. So I have been weightlifting the past few weeks, so I'm super happy about that. So I just want to keep that up. I don't need to hit a certain number of days. I just want to be consistently doing it. Not perfectly, but just consistent. Yeah, just like keeping active, moving my body throughout the day, especially now like working back in office. I'm trying to walk to work and back every day, and I think that's like a huge part of staying active. My goal for July is 100 subscribers. We'll see if that happens, I don't know. I need to book a dentist appointment, so that is a goal. Go camping, I already have that booked, but that is a goal. Get a tattoo, again, I have that booked, but I put it on my list. I would like to have a paint night. I kind of want to paint something for my niece, so we'll see. I want to have 2 beach days. I originally had this as just have a beach day, but I actually had one on July 1st because it was a stat, so I didn't work. So I went paddleboarding and went to the beach that day. So I already did that, so I just want to make sure I go again. So yeah, 2 beach days and then 2 hikes. So yeah, I will update you on how all of this goes in my August reset next month. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this gave you a slice of time to refocus for July and, you know, just reflect and take time for yourself and just really come back to your values and intentions. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.